What's going on, ladies and gents? It's Salvaje. Here are the top 10 best heroes to recruit in Fortnite Save the World. Yes, I am on my second account because these are the top 10 best heroes to recruit for any beginner, intermediate, and end game level player in Save the World. See, this video took me a while, guys, because when I first started doing it, I was only keeping end game players in mind, and I completely forgot that beginner and intermediate players also got hero recruitment vouchers, and we might be getting hero recruitment vouchers in the future, like Epic pointed out. So again, I wanted to choose 10 heroes that were really good overall for any level of play, but most importantly, I wanted to choose 10 heroes that added a ton of value in the primary slot, but also added a lot of value in the secondary slot, in other words in the support slot. So with that said, let's get right into it. Very important messages that I want to point out. All 10 of the heroes that I chose for this list are in the description of this video, so if you don't have time to watch the whole video, just check out the description. I have also given you guys even more reasons why I chose these 10 heroes in the description below, and I have dropped some honorable mentions. Just because your favorite hero isn't on this list doesn't mean that your hero is trash. You guys have to keep in mind that this video took me a month and a half to make for a reason. I did a lot of testing. But most importantly, like I said, these are the top 10 best heroes to recruit overall for all levels of play. So while it's true, for example, that Hero X might be a really great recruit, that might not be the case if you're a beginner player that you don't really have access to a huge hero pool like an endgame player, for example. Before you jump to conclusions in the comment sections, make sure that you actually watch the entire video so you're actually informed on why I made these choices. Archeologist. She's an absolute must-have hero. When you're a beginner and intermediate player, Archeologist is simply just a must-have. If you are a low-level player, make sure that you absolutely get your hands on Archeologist. The reason why you want to get your hands on her is because, simply put, she is the best farming hero in the entire game. Period. No excuse about it. No buts, no ifs, nothing. She's the best farming hero in the entire game, and like I said, right, when I first started doing this video, I only had endgame players' perspectives in mind because there are a lot of great farming loadouts out there that don't include Archeologists. But the truth is that if you're a beginner and intermediate player, you don't have access to a huge hero pool, which is why Archeologist is an absolute easy must-have 100%. If you play Save the World a lot, or if you know a thing or two about Save the World, you know that farming is something that is extremely essential in the game and just a base aspect of the game in general. You need to have a good hero that's going to make farming as easy as possible at the lower levels of play when you can't be running expeditions non-stop. An Archeologist is going to be the #1 hero that's basically going to be helping you do that. Number 2, Chromium Ramirez. She's a beast, to say the least, honestly, and quite honestly, she's very disgusting at the end game levels of play when you can actually maximize your loadout. Oh, sorry about that, boys. Let me actually put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Anyways, simply put, when you get her to a 2-star hero, she's gonna be able to reload the magazine extremely quickly, 50% faster to be exact, and for the most part, you're also gonna be able to regenerate your shield in a matter of 3 seconds after, of course, you reload with an empty magazine. This is extremely helpful when you have her on the commander slot, but it's also pretty helpful when you have her on the support slot as well. And that's why I chose Chromium Ramirez. She is very underrated, but adds a ton of utility and survivability when it comes down to any loadouts. Number 3, Fragment, Flurry, Jess. Simply put, she is an extremely overpowered outlander that is going to be able to dish out massive amounts of damage. You literally just want to recruit her, even if you were only going to use her for the commander slot, okay? Every 13 kills, you're going to be getting 1 charge fragment, which means that your abilities like Shock Tower and Teddy are going to have lower cooldowns and they're not going to require any energy. And if you're playing at the high and intermediate levels of play, you're constantly going to be regenerating fragments. On top of all that, at the time of me making this video, you can also regenerate fragments by trap kills, which means you're always going to be having fragments with Fragment, Flurry, Jess, whether you have her on the primary slot or, of course, whether you have her on the secondary slot, you know, on the support slots at the higher levels of play. Because keep in mind, at the higher levels of play, you're also going to be getting some trap kills as well, which means that you're going to be constantly regenerating fragments. And fragments are extremely underestimated, but shouldn't, because they add a lot of utility and a lot of DPS and just damage overall that you're going to be able to provide, specifically with your Outlander. So make sure that you guys recruit Fragment Flurry Jess if you don't have her. Number 4, Ice King. Okay, so simply put, he's just a really good constructor in general, but to make things better, he also has the Frozen Castle abilities. So on the support slot, this basically is going to be slowing down Husk when they are in the base range. And if your Husk melees a structure that is within the base range, they're going to get frozen for 4 seconds. Throughout my time using Ice King, I found this to be very good, because if a smasher hits your base, he's going to be frozen. And if you're at the lower levels of play, that's right, if a smasher hits your face, you might not have a lot of damage to take him out, specifically if you're playing solo or maybe your teammates are off doing something else. Those 4 seconds of free damage can be a big deal, and that's why I think Ice King is definitely a must-have. Number 5 was actually going to be First Shot Rio, but as a beginner and intermediate player, you might not have the tools and soldiers to maximize your First Shot Rio loadout. That's why Crackshot made it to the number 5 spot, because of his Mad Tidings ability. Almost every single great soldier loadouts that I have seen has Crackshot in the support slot. But most importantly, Crackshot in the primary slot has the Mad Tidings ability upgraded. Every time that you fire a ranged weapon, you're going to get a Holiday Spirit. Holiday Spirit stacks up to 50 times. Every time you get a Holiday Spirit, you get an increased 2.9% ranged weapon damage, and you get a little bit of you get a little bit of decreased weapon stability. In other words, more recoil to the weapon. It's not really going to matter, right? That extra recoil won't matter because you're going to be able to top fire. You're just going to be able to completely obliterate anything that stands in front of you, and that's why Crackshot made it to the list of these top 10 essential heroes that you need in Fortnite Save the World. Whiteout Fiona. Okay, I wouldn't say Whiteout Fiona is a hero that you absolutely need to recruit. I just think this is a hero that you just mandatorily need to have, because if you don't have this hero, you're making a huge mistake. Why is that? Well, if you're going to be using swords or axes or scythes in Fortnite Save the World and you don't have Whiteout Fiona, you're missing out big time. Now, of course, if you're not using swords, axes, and scythes and you don't really see yourself, going for a melee build anytime soon, hey, it's okay. You don't need Whiteout Fiona. But I think if you do, if you are going to be running swords, axes, or scythes, which chances are that you actually are, you absolutely need Whiteout Fiona. This is just a hero that you just need, period, alright? Because if you want to maximize a sword, an axe, or a scythe build, or you just want to be running a sword in your loadout, having Whiteout Fiona is going to help you out a lot when it comes down to the support slot. Furthermore, if you have her on the commander slot, she's going to be increasing the critical damage of swords, axes, and scythes, and this is going to be an extremely big deal. The reason for that is because you're just going to be landing more critical damage shots with, of course, your swords. Alright, hero number 7, another must-have hero, essential to anyone that's going to be playing soldier, Tactical Assault Sledgehammer. If you have him, on the primary slot, your assault rifles are going to be doing 225% more critical damage. In other words, that's going to be a lot of damage. And there is no flex tape or flex glue in Fortnite Save the World, so the husk are going to get melted from 0 to 100 real quick. Anyways, if you don't have run the commander slot, however, you can have him on the support slot. And this is going to be increasing your assault critical damage by 75%. This is obviously a big deal because, again, it just means that you're going to be able to have more damage. Let's move on forward to another constructor, and I believe number 8, Thunder Thora. Okay, so simply put, guys, she's really amazing. Alright, if you have her on the primary slot and you have 3 other Commander Thunder Thoras, electrified floors are going to stack. And according to my friend Beacons, in a level 100 mission, if you have 4 Thunder Thoras, and all 4 of them are stacking their electrified floors, Husk aren't going to be able to get like 2 tiles into your base, because as soon as they traverse 2 tiles, they're just going to be completely eliminated. But that's not the only reason why she's on the list, right? Because they might patch that out in the future, which I don't think they will, by the way, because I think that was made on purpose like that. It's all about teamwork. But Either way, Electrified Floors is a really good universal ability for every single constructor loadout, and it's an ability that can help out and add a ton of utility in the higher levels of play. Simply put, Electrified Floors is just a must-have ability to have. Now, at the time of me making this video, Battlehound Jonesy is in the shop. I absolutely think that you need to buy Battlehound Jonesy because you're going to have a total of 7 frag grenades with Battlehound Jonesy. Okay, I just want to, put that up as a heads up. If you're watching this video 1 month from now, however, it means that the Love Storm event is no longer going to be available. And of course, I also created this video with longevity in mind. So my last 2 heroes, number 9 and number 10, and I'm going to explain why I didn't add some other heroes, when I, mention these guys, but number 9 is going to be AntiKoto Sarah. Look, simply put, if you're going to be playing Ninja, you just need her in your loadout. Whether on the commander slot or in the primary slot, she's going to be adding a ton of value. Every time that you get a melee weapon kill, you're going to get energy. That means that, what's this thing called? You're going to be able to use the heavy attack that the melee weapon brings to the table. This applies to every single melee weapon in the entire game. If you missed your chance on getting AntiKoto Sarah, you absolutely need to recruit her. She is literally the best, in my opinion, melee based hero in the entire game because she adds a lot of value into the melee category, and you can also have her on a constructor loadout, for example, if you're using hardware. Anyways, on the number 10 spot, I also have Fallen Ranger Jonesy. If you also missed your chance on getting Fallen Ranger Jonesy, by the way, congrats, you kind of played yourself. But long story short, you absolutely need him every time that you're going to get an elimination. An elimination, by the way, in other words, a trap kill, an ability kill, a kill with your weapon. Long story short, you're just going to be getting energy back, okay? And this is also going to be very helpful because it means you're going to be able to use your abilities more often. But Fallen Ranger Jonesy, the reason why I didn't really, why I also mentioned the boy Battlehound Jonesy, it's because, honestly, if you're playing a soldier, for example, you don't need to be getting energy very, very quickly. So that's why for the number 10 spot, it's going to be Battlehound Jonesy or, of course, our boy Fallen Ranger Jonesy. So why is it that I didn't pick other heroes, right? Like, for example, a really overrated hero in Fortnite Save the World, Field Agent Rio. Well, I tested Field Agent Rio for about 4 days. I'm just going to mention this because, again, I think she's really overrated. And at the higher levels of play, she's honestly not that relevant. Simply put, things like traps, abilities, and teammate damage are going to be into the field of play, which makes her ability honestly sometimes not necessary. And it's true, she does bring a team perk into the table. All of the mythics bring a team perk into the table except the stealable guys, I believe. But the thing is, guys, that when it comes down to making this video, I wanted to choose utility and versatility over just something cool. For example, like, I really like the Carbide team perk, right? And I think his lefty and righty, with the space pistols is really, really cool. I actually have Carbide on my main account. But long story short, guys, I just felt like these 10 heroes to recruit were just going to add a ton of value at all levels of play. And these are 10 heroes that everybody needs to have. Last but not least, you guys have to keep in mind that a lot of the base game team perks, like Dimmac, for example, this is the best team perk for ninjas at the moment. Well, not the best, one of the best, okay? Dimmac, really, really good. For soldiers, the Keep Out perk, also really, really good. Bioenergy Source, actually, in my opinion, is also a really, really good team perk. But then again, AntiKoto Sarah is a thing, which is why Lynx Cassandra didn't make it into this video. Anyways, I know there are going to be a lot of unhappy people because I didn't put their favorite heroes, but I don't care, right? Because I made this video for the beginner, intermediate, and endgame players that want to absolutely max out their experience in this game and want to get the most in the long term as well as the short term when it comes down to, of course, hero recruitment vouchers. If you enjoyed this video, drop it a like, subscribe to doing the Salvaje Cartel, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video because it definitely took me a while to come up with the list. See you guys in the next one, and check the description for the extra notes on the video.